back to the Man Up channel. I am your host, Bob Buckland, and returning again is John Font.
Hello, everybody.
And today we have an episode that I am actually very conflicted on.
Yeah, we definitely want to know what you guys think about this in the comments. It's been an ongoing thing, and it's right here in Ohio, in Logan County. A lady was tasered because she wasn't wearing a mask at her son's football game, I think they said.
Yep, it was sometime last week. I think it was, as of this recording, last Wednesday, so maybe 5 days ago. And it happened at a football game. She was asked repeatedly to put on a mask, and when she didn't, things got confrontational.
Very much so. You can see this video all over the YouTube. There's at least 3 or 4 different angles if I look correctly, and there is a ton of large news organizations that are covering this right now, but we felt that it was good to be covered, especially with the riots going against all the police things that are going on right now, but also with the stuff that's going on with COVID and people that are scared for their lives for this disease. So there's been a lot of critics, including some GOP politicians in Ohio, that have seized the case to bolster their argument that the government has gone too far in issuing restrictions meant to slow the spread of COVID here in America.
I can tell you right now, for going on 6 months now, I will be the first one to say that these masks need to go away. I'm done with that. You can see a lot of people are even going around. I was in Myers a couple of days ago, and I can't tell you how many people I've seen refusing to wear masks now. We are over the limitations of expecting masks to change anything with COVID. As far as the 2 weeks to flatten the curve, we're going into 7 months now, and everyone's just tired of it. So I can tell you honestly, just watching people, we are all tired of it and just want to get back to normality.
I know from going from the one store that I was at to the store I'm at now, like, nobody wears a mask there. So it's been interesting to see how a little bit of a location will change all that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of several towns I stop at for my job, and you go to these small little rural areas, nobody wears a mask. And guess what? Everybody's happy there.
Yeah, anytime you go out on small things, and I hear a lot more people are doing a lot more camping this year, and they're just really happy to be out and be normal and do those kinds of things. So, but this lady, the people who are judging this school, this officer, they're trying to follow the guidelines of the Ohio High School Athletic Association with the sole purpose of wanting kids to play. Ohio Mike DeWine said that Thursday conference, the Daily News report, that the confrontation happened on Wednesday, where the crowd gathered to watch a 7th and 8th grade football game. And I know, like, yesterday we were watching a baseball game up at the baseball field, and people were observing. People that didn't feel comfortable sitting in groups were sitting far away from everyone else. I mean, there's plenty of places to sit if you need to get away. They were sitting down the line, the foul line for the baseball game. So, but I don't think I saw anybody of them wearing a mask.
No, I mean, I totally get where this lady was coming from. I mean, you can see in the video, she was kind of gathered with her family off to the side. She was clearly social distancing. But here's where I get conflicted with. I would love to hear what everybody else's thoughts and opinions are on this too. I would be like I said, I was the first one to say that these masks are dumb, but I'm also the first one to stand up and gotta say we gotta support our troops too. I mean, the officer there that was at the game was clearly just doing his jobs and trying to enforce the rules that were set in place for what's going on right now.
I guess his last name was Smith. Smith told her that if she didn't wear a mask, that she would have to leave the football stadium. And police said when several attempts to get her to leave failed, Smith told Kitts that she was under arrest for trespassing and told her to put her hands behind her back.
Which, let's be clear, if you guys haven't followed, she was not arrested for not wearing a mask. At this point, she was illegally trespassing on school grounds because there were a bunch of signs and stuff posted that you were not allowed to be on this point if you're not wearing a mask. So that's what she got arrested on, not because she did not have a mask on.
Correct. And then Smith tried to wrestle her hands behind her back, at which Kitts yelled, "Don't touch me, don't touch me," and eventually tasered her, handcuffed her, and dragged her out of the stadium. Screaming, "Come on now, it's just a mask," someone from the crowd had yelled at Kitts in the meantime. And, I think we're all tired of it, especially these people that have kids in sports. They want to see their kids playing these sports.
If I had a kid in sports and I really wanted to watch him, I would put on the mask. Just plain and simple. We've been in it for this long. I know we're all tired of it, but at the same time, it is not that big of a deal, especially if you're going to put your kids first and let them actually be the star and not trying to make a riot out of it.
And that's what so many people, I think, have gotten into. And this radio host, again, reading from the Washington Post article, he goes, "This isn't about a mask," Stewart said, according to WSYX. "This is about control, and it's about government overreach." So Smith was placed on limited duty over death threats, which I don't think we should be sending him death threats. But after a number of angry calls, the Logan-Hocking School District took security measures on Thursday and officially said we had a couple of calls come in that were pretty threatening, so we went on a lockout status district-wide. The Hocking superintendent said, "We're not allowing anyone from the outside to come in." So basically, because of this mess, no one's allowed to watch any of the football games, I guess.
This is just so stupid. I mean, with all the riots and all the protests going on right now, I guarantee you even these small-town cops are probably a little more on edge than normal right now. So why would you get so worked up about something so remedial that you would want to go ahead and start threatening a cop's life because one person didn't comply to the rules? Yes, the rules are stupid. Yes, the rules are stupid. But at the same point, the cop was just doing his job. Cut him some slack. It's all she had to do. She could have walked out. She could have went and got a face shield, and she could have been back in 15 minutes. There was even someone that said in the clip, which I didn't pay attention enough, but you could see a mask in her back pocket. If that was true, why is she fighting?
We have people who come in all the time with the mask around their chin. All the time. Do you think people would have fought with her if she had a mask around her chin? I don't know. I think in some senses it turned into a personal vendetta at the end of it. I don't know. Maybe not. But just from looking at it, if you see her, she's sitting. When you're at a restaurant, when you go sit down, you take off your mask. That's what you do. So same with this thing. She was sitting with just her kids and her family in this little group, and there was nobody near them. Nobody anywhere close to them. And, and if my kids had to watch my wife get tased, I'd probably be pretty hateful too.
There had to be someone in there that was whining and complaining that was probably, 50 feet away from them anyway, so it's not the cop's fault. I would say responsibility does fall on this lady, but at the same point, we could all just mind our own business. If you want to wear a mask, great. If you don't want to wear a mask, fine. Then don't sit with each other.
Right.
Set out a special set of bleachers away from everybody else and sit there if you don't want to wear a mask.
Well, again, it comes down to the point of it being a law. I think you get to that
law,
point.
It's just a mandate.
Exactly, and I don't even think they have the point to even make it a mandate at this point. I think it came down to between the school and everybody else. It came down to kind of a pissing contest to find out how far can we push this thing, and they pushed it as far as they thought they needed to, and they got death threats, and so now they're just cutting off everything, and I think that's sad and for the kids, and that's 90% of the reason you play sports is so you can impress your parents.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the people that are probably going to lose here are the football players. With this going on and the bad publicity, who knows? They might have to cancel football for the rest of the season just because one parent didn't want to wear a mask. Unfortunately, that's the way it's coming down to be.
Right. And that's the sad part, is just because two people wanted to fight, we end up with so much bloodshed that's not really blood, but you understand what I'm saying. That's very frustrating. So where do you want her way out on this, Bob? Do you think she should have just put her mask on, even though she says she had asthma, and they ignored her?
Oh, with getting...
Or do you think the police officer was wrong by pushing something that was not necessarily a law or directive?
I would say that, honestly, the officer was not at fault. I hate these masks. I really do. I refused to wear them for the longest time, but Menards wouldn't let me in anymore, so they broke me.
That happens
Sadly,
sometimes.
Menards broke me.
It's always about Menards.
But I'm going to go out there and put it out there as a parent that your kids come first. And if you're required to wear a mask to watch your kid play your football game, then you sit your happy butt down and you put a mask on and you support your kid. As a parent, that's what my overall life is right now, is supporting my kids. And if you don't agree with me, well, I would love to start a conversation about this, but I think the whole situation was handled wrongly. It's, like I said, from the very beginning, I'm conflicted on this.
Well, and both parties have basically said at this point that Miss Kitz's lawyer is explaining that the policy officer and the administration, that she has asthma, but they ignored her. In her statement, our position is that unmasked asthmatic will have to leave the stadium, which is not consistent with any directive or law, at which point the superintendent or principal of the school, Boehner, said that the rules are clear. The bottom line is we require masks, whether it's at school or at events. Boehner told the news, you have to wear a mask. If you don't wear a mask, you're going to be asked to leave. So basically, nobody's giving in anything at this point, and both sides are definitely standing up and saying, "Oh, we're right," and nobody else is. And like I think Bob and I both said, I think the biggest, saddest part of this whole thing is the kids are the ones that are going to pay, because nobody is going to be allowed in. So to any other football games, there's of course a billion comments if you wish to go look more. We were reading them off the WashingtonPost.com.
Yeah, I think we're going to share a link to the Washington Post, and we'll even put a link to these videos here in the descriptions. We'd like to hear what you guys think about this. And then this is the Man Up channel. Please like, comment, share. We'd love to get a conversation going. And remember, time to man up. Talk to you later.
Peace out.